Hello, beautiful souls. All right. How are you guys feeling? We had a full moon in Taurus. Was that yesterday? No, 2 days ago. How you doing? How you doing, everybody? What's so funny is that, Scorpio is not necessarily my favorite time of the year, but can you guys feel like the fire? I know that for me it feels like irritation. It kind of feels like anger at times. All of this WTF, like, especially for me, has been around like all this government shutdown. I'm just like, why are all these people still going to work? I mean, thank you, but what is going on? The question is, how many days would you go to work without getting paid? And I know, what if these things don't get funded? I'm always so full of questions. What if? My real question is, what if we all just stopped? What if we all just stopped, and then we would see, because then they would hurry up and they would actually figure something out instead of making it be about one or the other, right? They'd be like, well, we can't, because right now it's interesting, all this squeeze, like the FAA and blah, 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 all this stuff. And you know what? I don't even know if I believe half of what the news, whatever news, is actually broadcasting right now. I just think it's interesting that, we have all these cuts going on in all of these agencies, and now all of the most vulnerable people are the ones being affected. What I mean by vulnerable is the ones that don't have the safety net, right? Whatever you feel about people and getting a government assistance and whatever, but come on, people. These are the ones that are hurting. It's not the people that have a lot of money. They're like, whatever, I'm going to take my plane. Well, no, now they're not, because 10% of all the flights are going to be cut. And now they're talking about doing away with the NOAA tsunami, whatever, blah, 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 blah. It's like, what? Just figure this out, politicians. It's not too hard. You guys are still getting paid. Maybe we should pull back their money. Make it contingent on them coming to an agreement. And then they can get their benefits reinstated and they can get their paycheck back. Right? That's what I mean. So much is like making absolutely no sense in this world. Yeah, all of these federal workers keep going to work, keep going to help out. They're trying to keep our country afloat. And just, I'm going to say this, I guess. And just the people that are spouting all of this bullshit that is not true. I keep hearing people say, well, the pilots aren't getting paid. Wait, what? Why aren't the pilots getting paid? I could see the government pilots not getting paid, but most pilots are getting paid. The FAA or the air traffic controllers aren't. The TSA aren't. So, I don't understand. But do you see what I mean? It's all so convoluted. It's like meant to be that way. Confusion. Whenever I feel confused like this, like I'm like, oh, all right, I need to pull way back and start paying really close attention to the words people are saying, the emotions that are being conveyed. I can't, like, this feels like propaganda. It feels like manipulation. It feels like pulling the rug out from the most vulnerable populations that don't have any backup. They don't have any, what are they going to say? They have nothing else. So that, comes back to the rest of us to try to help out. And most people are like, who fucking cares? Like, so what? They shouldn't need this. They shouldn't need help. Even Affordable Care Act. I mean, that's going away, maybe? Yeah? I don't know. But holy cow. Talk about all of these, like, vulnerable populations. Stop targeting the people that need help. I'm not saying we pay anybody's way. And a lot of this Affordable Care Act, it's just talking about tax credits. It's not even like you're giving them money. You are fronting them their tax credit. Sure, so they don't have to pay out of pocket for these outrageous premiums. Okay, so here we really go. How are these insurance companies, corporations allowed to charge this much? They're saying that this is what it costs to do business. You know what? I just went and had procedure done, surgery, and when I was in there, I was like, hey, can't I just get my uterus out? I mean, I've had a few problems over the years, nothing that hasn't been able to be fixed, but I'm like, here I am having to go in for a procedure, having to go under general, having to have stuff done, female stuff done, and I'm like, why can't I just have it out? Like, I'm not saying all the rest of it. I don't want to mess with my hormones. But why can't I just have it out? Why do I have to go have this? And the doctor said it's because of insurance. Insurance needs this procedure to come back a certain way for them to approve. Why does the doctor not get to decide what can be done? Why are insurance companies allowed to decide what procedures can be done? We are going to have to stand up and fight. I can feel it. Because they're going to start, and we already know this happens, where they decline, and then, you have to keep appealing, and eventually they might approve. But, again, these vulnerable populations especially do not fully understand the thing of having to appeal. They get the no, and they're like, oh my God, I don't, they're done. No, this is wrong. I don't know what it is, but my warrior has been fanned. Like, I'm feeling so fiery. Like, and my question the last couple days has been like, I had somebody ask to move into my house, and I'm not doing that. Like, I've done that before. I had somebody, come in that needed a place to stay and whatever. I'm not doing that anymore. Okay, so my question is, we are going to have an exponential number of people that need help with housing, and they need help with food, and they need help with healthcare. Like, all of the basics, all of the survival stuff is going to be needed. How can we help these people? For all I know, it's going to be me. Do you know what I'm saying? But how can we help? I mean, obviously, we can't let everybody move into our houses. Like, that doesn't make any sense. We can donate to food banks. We can, make meals. We can, create new, companies and businesses to help, provide meals to our community. We can do all kinds of things. But this feels like an attack on every single aspect of survival of our most vulnerable populations. And what I have been shocked about is the lack of humanity. Some people would say humans aren't very nice, but humane, think about what that word means. Humane. People are not acting in a way that is humane. You know? How do we promote more humanity? Do you know what I'm saying? Because this is not okay. People are talking about, well, they shouldn't need public assistance. You know what? Shit happens, and sometimes people need help. And just because a few people might have been taking, advantage of the system doesn't mean that most people are. Quit, painting with this broad brush of scammer or whatever. I don't like it. Let's start holding these politicians accountable. And we really need to come together as communities of people, like in proximity to where we are living. And it's the judgment. It's like this whole thing of like, dude, just stop judging. Don't get me wrong. I see that we have been programmed from way back, especially Generation X, all these, we've been programmed about, work hard, this or that, don't, be a freeloader. Not everybody has been programmed, but a lot of us have been, here's the thing. We need to all look at our own programming. We need to look at our own attitudes. And how we interact with control. And just judgment in general. And start going, being willing to look at our own hypocrisy. You know what I mean? This place is hard enough. This place is full of density. This place feels really dark to a lot of people. We need to start talking about what can we do institutionally to start bringing more light in. This is feeling like it goes beyond my own awakening, my own expansion of consciousness. This is how can I weave in my own expanded consciousness into my physical community here and help people. It feels kind of like the Crusades, but not. This is not religious. This is like, how do we help people meet their own basic needs so that then they can go up the what is it? The pyramid of hierarchy. How can we then, really bring in and anchor in this expansion of consciousness with more people? People can't be worried about their survival to self-actualize. Anyway, I love you guys. Talk soon. Bye.